Clara sat in front of the cafe mirror for the 10th time that evening, fixing her hair nervously. Her hands trembled as she checked her reflection in the phone camera. She wasn't dressed in a designer outfit or adorned with luxury accessories like the women she often saw on social media, but she had chosen her best floral dress, one that hugged her curves gently and gave her at least a little confidence. Her heart pounded in her chest. This was her first blind date. For years, Clara had avoided dating because of the harsh words that always followed her everywhere: too big, too fat, not good enough. She was used to whispers in restaurants, the stares at clothing stores when she dared to shop in the plus-size section, and even family members constantly suggesting she should lose weight to be more lovable. Tonight was supposed to be different. Her friend had arranged this blind date, assuring her that the guy was kind, successful, and open-minded. But when Jason arrived, Clara knew from the very first glance that things weren't going to go well. He walked in wearing a sharp blazer, his cologne filling the cafe as he approached the table. At first, his eyes scanned the room as if looking for someone else. When he realized Clara was the woman he was supposed to meet, his expression shifted from curiosity to disappointment, though he tried to mask it with a tight smile. "Hi, Clara," he asked stiffly, sliding into the chair across from her. "Yes," she smiled nervously, hoping her warmth could ease the tension. The waiter came over, but Jason waved him off quickly. I'm not sure if I'll stay long," he muttered, loud enough for Clara to hear. Her heart sank. She tried to make conversation, asking him about his work, his hobbies, even complimenting his suit. But Jason's replies were curt, his eyes constantly flicking toward the exit. Finally, he leaned back and sighed. "Look, Clara, I don't want to waste your time," he said. "You seem nice, but you're not really what I expected." Her hands froze on the table. "What do you mean?" she asked softly, though deep down she already knew the answer. Jason avoided her eyes, fumbling with his phone. I prefer women who take care of themselves. You know, someone slimmer. I mean, attraction is important, right? And I don't think we're a match." The words cut through Clara like a blade. She had heard them before, from strangers, from cruel classmates, even from relatives who thought they were giving helpful advice. But hearing them now, on a night when she had hoped for something different, crushed her completely. Clara forced a small smile, though her eyes burned. "I understand," she whispered. Jason stood, already checking his watch. "Good luck, though," he said dismissively before walking out. Just like that. As if she was nothing more than a rejected option. Clara sat frozen, her eyes fixed on the half-empty water glass in front of her. People around the cafe continued chatting and laughing, but she felt invisible, her heart heavy with shame. She wondered if maybe everyone was right, maybe love wasn't meant for someone like her. And then, as she wiped her tears quickly, embarrassed that strangers might notice, a deep voice broke into her thoughts. "Excuse me," the man said, pulling out the chair across from her. Clara looked up in shock. Sitting down was a tall man in an impeccably tailored suit, with sharp features and eyes that carried both authority and warmth. She had seen him when she first entered, the man at the next table who seemed too important to be in such a modest cafe. Now, he was seated directly across from her. "I couldn't help but overhear," he said calmly. That man had no idea what he just walked away from. Clara blinked, unsure how to respond. What?" The man smiled gently. "Forgive me. My name's Adrian. I'm not usually this forward, but when I see someone being treated unfairly, I can't stay silent." "That guy? He's a fool." Clara's lips trembled between a smile and disbelief. She didn't know who Adrian was or why he cared, but for the first time that evening, her broken heart felt just a little lighter. Clara didn't know what to say at first. Here was this confident, successful-looking man sitting across from her, speaking as though she mattered. His presence was almost overwhelming, but there was no judgment in his eyes, only sincerity. "I'm sorry you had to see that," she finally whispered. "It happens more than I'd like to admit." Adrian shook his head. No. What happened isn't about you. It's about people who think beauty has only one definition. The truth is, confidence, kindness, and authenticity are far more attractive than fitting into society's narrow box. Clara studied him closely, expecting to see pity in his eyes. Instead, she saw admiration. "Are you some kind of motivational speaker?" she asked with a weak laugh, trying to lighten the mood. Adrian chuckled. "Not exactly. I run a company. Some people call me a CEO, but titles don't matter much. What matters is recognizing people's value. And trust me, Clara, your value isn't defined by a number on a scale." Her eyes widened. A CEO? She suddenly realized why he looked so familiar. His face had been on magazine covers, business articles, even on a billboard she passed once. Adrian Cole, the self-made millionaire known not just for his success, but also for philanthropy and outspoken views on self-worth. What on earth was he doing here, talking to her? You must be mistaken," Clara stammered. "I'm not." "You're not what?" Adrian interrupted gently. "Not beautiful? Not worthy? Don't let someone else's ignorance make you doubt who you are." For the first time, Clara couldn't stop the tears from falling. But these weren't the same tears of shame she had shed minutes earlier. These were tears of relief, of hope, of finally being seen. Adrian didn't look away. Instead, he continued, "Do you know why I admire people who face rejection and still show up anyway? Because it takes courage. And courage is rare." Clara took a shaky breath. "But it hurts," she admitted. "Every time, it feels like proof that I'll never be good enough." Adrian leaned forward, his voice steady. "Clara, you don't need proof from anyone else. You are already enough. The only person who has to see it is you." His words sank deep into her heart, stronger than anything she had ever heard from family, friends, or even her own thoughts. For once, she didn't feel like the obese girl society mocked. She felt like a woman worthy of love, respect, and dreams. The cafe around them seemed to fade as they continued talking. Adrian asked about her passions, her work, her goals. She spoke about her love for writing, how she dreamed of publishing stories that inspired people but always doubted if her voice mattered. Adrian listened intently, never once letting his phone or watch distract him. "Then right," he said firmly. "The world needs more voices like yours. People are waiting for someone real, someone who understands pain but still chooses hope. Don't let them wait too long." Hours passed before Clara even realized the cafe was closing. Adrian stood, helping her gather her things. "I hope you don't let tonight discourage you," he said softly. "If anything, let it remind you that rejection isn't the end. Sometimes it's the beginning of something better." Clara smiled, her heart lighter than it had been in years. "Thank you," she whispered. "For everything." Adrian gave her one last warm glance before walking out into the night, his figure tall and confident against the city lights. That night, Clara didn't go home broken. She went home inspired. She pulled out her journal, the one she had abandoned months ago, and began to write again. Not about diets or self-pity, but about strength, resilience, and love that goes deeper than appearances. The blind date had rejected her for being too fat. But the CEO, the man who had everything, had shown her that she was already more than enough. And sometimes, it takes a stranger's words to change the story we tell ourselves.